Welcome, my name is Michelle, and I'm going to take you through a class today for your hips and spine to gently unwind and unblock tension. Please modify or leave out anything that doesn't suit your body today, and enjoy the class. So we're going to start in a seated position, either kneeling or cross-legged, and just working our spine into cat and cow from seated. So you'll place your hands on your knees, and as you inhale, slowly press your heart forward, looking up at the sky. And as you exhale, gently round your back and drop your chin towards your heart. We'll just do this a few more times, inhaling to pull the heart forward and open the front of the body, and then exhaling to gently open the back of the body. Let's just do one more of those, taking your time to just assess where your body is at today, and perhaps to connect with your breath. And now we'll come to a tabletop position or onto our hands and knees. And here you could practice some cat-cows if you know them, or you could join me in some gentle hip circles with your breath. So I'm going to inhale forward and exhale back, and really take my time to slowly move my hips forward, back, and to the sides, making a circle. And when you're ready, you can feel free to change the direction of that circle. Going nice and slow and moving mindfully. And now we'll step our right foot out to the side and continue hip circles with that foot pressing down into the floor. So you'll circle one direction at first, and then when you feel to, you can reverse the direction of that circle. Again, just really taking your time, feeling into what your body needs. And now straightening out that right leg, we'll lower down onto the forearms if we can, and just have a nice stretch of the inside of the right leg. Taking a few breaths here, keeping the spine long. And now coming back to tabletop, and we're going to repeat that on the second side. So you're just going to step your left foot to the side, keeping the left knee bent a little bit. Will make it easier to circle the hips around. And so just choosing a direction to start with, maybe doing 2 or 3 rounds in that direction. See if you can move with your breath, inhaling forward, exhaling back. And when you feel ready, you can go the other direction. And then we'll straighten our left leg out, and again lower down onto the elbows to open up the inner leg. Just taking a few breaths. And now just pressing back to all fours. And we'll take a wide knee child's pose. So we'll bring the big toes together to touch, open up the knees the width of your mat, and sink your hips down to your heels, allowing your chest and your head to come towards the floor. Relaxing your arms, taking a few breaths here. And now coming back to tabletop position, we'll go ahead and sit down and just bring our legs out wide. So we'll bring our right leg out wide and bend our left knee, bringing our left foot close to the groin, and then reaching for the right foot, we'll slowly try to bring our forehead down to our knee. If you can't reach the right foot, then just reach for that part of your leg that you can reach easily. If you have knee issues, please take care with this one. You might put a towel behind the knee or even prop your knee up from underneath. And then we'll just go to the center in that same position with the legs. So just coming to center and folding forward. We'll take 3 or 4 breaths. Gently opening the hips. And now coming back. And we'll just bring that left knee across and bring the right knee on top to come to a pose called Happy Cow Face or Gomukhasana. You may find it's okay to sit tall here. You may find you need to sit on a block actually, so feel free to put a block or a cushion underneath your bottom. And if you're able to, you can fold forward like I'm doing here. You should feel a pretty strong stretch in your outer hip, your left hip. And we'll come back to center, and we'll go to the opposite side. So just taking the left leg out and bending the right knee. And again, we're turning to the side and reaching towards that left foot and trying to bring our head down to the knee. And And coming back up to center, and now just folding straight forward, keeping that same leg position. And coming back up slowly, we'll come into the second side of Gomukhasana, happy cow face. So folding that bottom leg in so that the knee points to the front, and then just sandwiching the left knee this time on top. Again, feel free to sit on a block, which I'm showing here, but if you don't need that, then you can just leave your sitting bones on the ground. This is an intense pose, so please go at your own level, at your own pace. Let's take one more deep breath. And then slowly coming back up to center and just taking a moment to stretch the legs out. And now we'll come to butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of the feet together and just letting the knees drop out to the floor. You can either have the feet close to you or a little bit further away, depending on what part of the body you'd like to focus on. Folding forward if you can. And then we'll slowly come back up to center. And then we'll just windscreen wiper the knees right and left a few times. So I like to experiment with this using my hands very little if I can, and just allowing the legs and the core muscles to help to rotate your knees from one side to the other. But if you need your hands, you can have them on the floor as well. And now let's come to all fours. We'll come to a tabletop position. And we'll come into pigeon pose with the left leg forward in front of us. So here you can come down onto the elbows, or you may even be able to bring your chest and forehead down to the ground. Just taking a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then just slowly pressing back up, coming back to tabletop position. And we'll repeat that on the second side. So just bringing the right knee out in front to pigeon pose and slowly lowering yourself down if you can. Try and keep the hips centered as best you can. And again, taking care if you have any knee discomfort or any discomfort, adjusting the pose to really suit you. Let's come out now. So we'll come back to tabletop position for a moment and sit back down on the heels. And then we'll bring the legs out in front of us again, and we'll lie down on our backs. So just bringing yourself to a position to lie down onto your mat. And we'll start here with just a gentle lower back release. So you're going to bend your left knee, place your left foot on the floor, and draw your right knee up to your chest. And just take a moment to lengthen your back. If you'd like to go deeper, you can come into half happy baby pose. So you'll bring the sole of your foot to face the sky and reach with both hands to grab onto the outsides of the foot, bending the right knee to a 90 angle down to the floor. I'll show you that again since my dog Tala was blocking what I was doing there. And your bottom leg can straighten out on the floor. So again, this is a deep hip opener, so it may or may not be suitable for you. See how you go. And we'll release that side and come to the second side of just drawing the left knee just outside the left side of the chest. Your right knee is bent with your foot flat on the floor. And if you'd like to take that further, you can come into half happy baby, straightening out your bottom leg. And now we'll release that pose, coming back to center. And now we'll come into thread the needle. So we'll cross our right ankle above the left knee and then draw the left knee up towards the chest, taking one or two hands behind the bottom of the left knee underneath. I like to use my right hand on my right knee to gently push that knee away, and that increases the stretch. And now let's try that on the other side. So crossing the left foot over the right knee and then drawing that right knee in towards your chest. Again, this is for your outer hip, so you should feel the deep stretch in that outer right hip. Let's release that now. And now just bringing the knees to the chest any way that feels good for you. Maybe you keep your knees close together, maybe the knees are wide apart. But try and keep your back lengthened and nice and flat on the floor. And now we'll finish up today with a few more of those windscreen wipers. So I like to take my arms out nice and wide, maybe even cactus the arms. And just let the knees drop to the right and the left side slowly, allowing your feet to turn on the mat so that your knees can both stay pointed in relatively the same direction. And now we'll finish up with a final spine twist. So you could just do windscreen wiper knees and just keeping your knees over to the right side, or you could stack your knees like I'm doing here and extend your left arm out to the side away from the direction of the knee, so you're in a spinal twist. And we'll come back to center and slowly make your way to the second side. You can either drop your gaze down the extended arm, or in my case, I like to turn my gaze the opposite direction towards where the knees are. Experiment with what feels good for you. And now we'll come back to center. We'll just do one last little adjustment, lifting the hips up and kind of sliding them away as we lower the hips back down, straightening out the legs and coming into our final Shavasana. Close your eyes and feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. This is your time to just enjoy. Thank you for joining me and have a beautiful rest of your day.